Weed in the relationship with self. One of the things that a lot of the clients that I see end up struggling with is actually having a relationship with themselves when they go to quit marijuana. What I actually mean by that is they've actually kind of forgotten, in a sense, who they are because they've escaped their reality so often through marijuana. Now, when you escape your life, usually in the beginning, especially with marijuana, it's to have fun and connect socially with others and have a good time. But as time kind of goes on and you go through life, a lot of people start utilizing marijuana more so as a regulator of emotions. So you may be in a job or something like that that you really don't like and that you hate. You may be dealing with personal things within your relationship, or you might even be just overwhelmed with financial stuff in life overall. Whatever that actually is for the individual varies, but what I can tell you is that when they go to quit the marijuana, all those things that they just kept turning to the marijuana to get through end up still happening in life. We all have relationships, and at times we struggle in those relationships, whether it be in work or business, family, or even financial things. So when you've escaped those things and kind of dissociated from those experiences, what you actually find is this inability to deal with issues sober. So when you actually quit and life still happens, you actually find it more difficult to navigate those issues in your life when they come and naturally go, because that's just life. Life has good times, and then there's times where life is a little more difficult. And your ability to deal with that actually has a lot to do with your resources, or your resource state as we call it in hypnosis. So what is a resource state at the end of the day? Well, the ability to deal with a certain situation. So some people that struggle with depression or mental illness or some kind of mental struggle will go to the gym and work out. And if you talk to a lot of gym goers, one of the things that they might tell you is that if I didn't go to the gym, my whole mental health would decline. I'm not really here for, fitness or to look good. I'm actually here to feel good at the end of the day, because they know when they go to work out, their endorphins are going to kick on. They're going to have this sense of feeling better and being able to change their state. And they also might get involved in more nutrition and other things like that. So really what happens as you go through life and you mature from a teen onwards is you start building different skill sets. You start looking at life in a more proactive way. So I've encountered hard times. What could I do differently at this point in time to change my state? So people pick up hobbies. People might join communities for group hikes or other things, and those are all different ways that people sometimes meet the needs of social connection, finding people that you share the similar interests in. And within those friendships, sometimes you're able to vent about your life frustrations or your relationship and seek the counsel of others, because there's that sense of community there. So really, at the end of the day, what goes on for a lot of people when they are becoming sober-minded and dealing with life again is they really don't know who the heck they are. They're like, man, I don't know how to deal with this stress, or life seems boring. Well, when you've escaped your life so much, you don't necessarily feel the need to create an interesting life. So that might be improving your career. That might be gaining a new hobby. That might be starting a fitness path. That might be joining some sense of a community and finding other people with common interests. So at the end of the day, when you've quit marijuana, you actually relearn who you are, and you start to connect with what it is that you want and need to be a healthy individual. Now, a lot of people, where they end up reverting back and going back to smoking is they encounter something that's uncomfortable, stressful, and difficult to get through. And because of all those years of escaping their life, they often don't have a lot of valuable resources that they can think of, like going to the gym or doing other things to change their inner state. And more often than not, we all kind of know what we need to do to be healthier individuals, but it takes an internal shift within yourself. It takes a desire and a drive to still do what needs to be done at the end of the day, regardless of how you feel. But if feelings were that easy to get over and just change, people wouldn't struggle with depression. People wouldn't struggle with anxiety. People wouldn't struggle with addictions. So really what it comes down to is we get into a session and we deal with that subconscious issue. And once we've resolved that, the desire to turn to marijuana is completely gone. And if anything, now you don't have to worry about that in the background, because a lot of people have quit, but when life gets difficult, they come back. So if you're actually ready to deal with the emotional component that still has you coming back to marijuana, let's talk. Hit up my Calendly link and schedule a free call with me, and we can kind of get a better understanding of if we are a good couple to be working together. Obviously you want to quit smoking, or else I'm not going to want to see you. But at the same time, if you're actually ready to change, you'll take that first step, and then you'll take the next step. And that's just the way life is in general. When you want something bad enough, you move towards it, and you start moving away from the things you don't want. So when you're ready for that, let me know.